I am so honored to be named the PSA Athlete of the Year.
2 awards, 2 thrones, 1 year. And one of them just put the entire tennis world on notice. Aryna Sabalenka spent 2025 collecting titles like most people collect receipts. Brisbane, Miami, Madrid, US Open, $15 million in earnings. WTA Player of the Year, world number 1. The most dominant women's tennis season anyone had seen in years.
The world number 1, a champion again, but there was no way past this woman.
Untouchable, unbeatable, undisputed. The entire sport bowed down and nobody even questioned it. And then Eala went off. The 20-year-old Filipino, ranked outside the top 40, 0-3 against Sabalenka in their head-to-head, accepted the PSA Best Athlete of the Year, the highest sporting honor in the Philippines, alongside gymnast Carlos Eala, the first co-ed winners in 22 years, a historic moment for an entire nation. And what she said in that acceptance speech sent shockwaves through the entire tennis world. Because this was not a thank you speech. This was a warning. Delivered calmly, deliberately, directly. At the throne, Sabalenka spent an entire year building. But before we get to what she said, you need to understand exactly what Eala did in 2025 to earn the right to say it. Let's start in Miami. March 2025, the Miami Open, a WTA 1000 event where the world's best show up ready for war. Eala showed up ready for something else entirely. She dismantled Jelena Ostapenko, then Madison Keys, then Iga Swiatek, the woman who had spent years treating Grand Slam trophies like personal property. Back to back to back. At 19 years old, the Philippine internet collectively stopped functioning for approximately 72 hours. That was just March. She then claimed her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara, a statement win that announced she was not just capable of upsets, she was capable of winning tournaments outright. Then came the US Open, where she became the first Filipino player in the Open era to win a main draw match. A moment so significant that Philippine sports media ran out of superlatives before lunch, and then the SEA Games, gold. Because apparently, one historic achievement per season was not enough. By the time December arrived and the PSA votes were being counted, the question was not whether Eala deserved the award. The question was how one person had fit that much tennis into a single calendar year without requiring a second passport just to keep track of the stamps. 100 ranking spots climbed in 12 months, a Miami semifinal, a first title, a Grand Slam breakthrough, a national gold medal, and an acceptance speech filmed from Dubai, because even while collecting awards, she was still competing at WTA 1000 level. This was not a good year for Eala. This was a statement year, and the speech that came with it made sure everyone knew it. Here is what the most famous tennis experts in the world have been saying. And it starts with a speech filmed in Dubai that nobody was ready for. Eala stood there, not in a ceremony hall, not on a podium but remotely, from a city where she had just reached the quarterfinals of a WTA 1000 event, and delivered 5 words that reframed everything. This is just the beginning. Not for herself, not for Philippine tennis, for the entire conversation about where she belongs in the global pecking order. Because here is what those words actually meant in context. Sabalenka spent 2025 at the absolute summit of women's tennis. $15 million, 4 titles, world number 1. The kind of season that makes other players quietly reconsider their career choices. And Eala, 0-3 against her head-to-head, ranked outside the top 40 still building, looked at all of that and essentially said, noted, coming. Tennis experts have spent months analyzing what makes Eala different from every other rising player on the WTA tour. And the answer keeps coming back to the same thing. Most players at her stage are happy just to be competing at this level. Eala is competing at this level and already measuring the gap between where she is and where the throne is. That psychological distinction, that refusal to be satisfied with progress when the destination is still visible, is exactly what separates good players from great ones. And her 2025 season proved she already has the weapons to back it up. At the Miami Open, she did not just beat Iga Swiatek, she beat Ostapenko and Keys first, building momentum round by round like someone who had already decided how the tournament was going to end. 3 consecutive wins against Grand Slam champions, at 19 years old, in a single week. Sabalenka's biggest rival, the woman who had spent years at number 1, was sent home by a teenager from the Philippines who had not even packed enough clothes for a deep run. Presumably, then Dubai 2026, ranked number 40, beat world number 8. Jasmine Paolini 6-1, 7-6. Dismantled Cirstea 7-5, 6-4 to become the first Filipino in history to reach a Dubai quarterfinal. Lost to Coco Gauff 6-0, 6-2 in the last 8. But here is what experts keep pointing out about that loss. Gauff is a 2-time Grand Slam champion operating at the peak of her powers. Losing to her is not a setback, it is a measuring stick. And Eala is getting closer to that measurement every single tournament. The head-to-head against Sabalenka sits at 0-3. On paper, that looks like a problem. Experts say it is actually a roadmap. Every loss contains data. Every match against a top 5 player reveals exactly which part of the game needs sharpening. And Eala, a player who celebrated a PSA award from a hotel room in Dubai because she was too busy competing to fly home, is not the kind of person who looks at a 0-3 record and sees a ceiling. She sees a checklist, which brings us back to that speech. This is just the beginning. 5 words that landed differently depending on who was listening. Philippine fans heard a celebration, tennis analysts heard a warning, and somewhere in the conversation about who owns women's tennis right now, Sabalenka sitting comfortably at the top, Gauff right behind her, Swiatek rebuilding. There is a 20-year-old from Quezon City quietly doing the mathematics. She has already beaten the number 1. She has already made history at 3 separate tournaments in a single year. She has already collected the highest sporting honor her country can give. And she is already ranked higher than Sabalenka was at the same age. That last detail is the one experts keep coming back to. Sabalenka did not become world number 1 overnight. She built it, title by title, tournament by tournament, year by year. And the trajectory Eala is currently on. 100 ranking spots in 12 months, a Grand Slam breakthrough, a WTA 1000 semifinal, a first title, mirrors that build in a way that is difficult to ignore. The difference is that Sabalenka did not have someone like Eala watching her rise and taking notes. Eala has Sabalenka as a blueprint and the hunger of someone who has been told her entire career that the ceiling is lower than she thinks. Every time she has been told that, she has gone through it instead of accepting it. Miami proved it. Dubai proved it, the PSA speech confirmed it, and the most famous tennis experts in the world are now asking a question that would have seemed absurd 18 months ago. Not whether Eala can compete with Sabalenka, but when. So here is where it gets interesting. Sabalenka is 27, Eala is 20. The gap between them right now is significant. In ranking, in titles, in Grand Slam experience. But the gap between them 18 months ago was even bigger, and it closed faster than anyone predicted. If that trajectory continues, and experts are saying there is no reason it should not, the conversation about who sits on that global throne is going to get very complicated very soon. Drop your answer in the comments. Does Eala break that 0-3 head-to-head against Sabalenka in 2026? And if yes, at which tournament? Hit like, share this with every tennis and Filipino sports fan you know, and subscribe, because this rivalry is only just getting started. And Eala's speech made sure Sabalenka knows it too.